Alright, these are some of my favorite settings to run in the finals. So starting with gameplay, I usually leave use enemy team colors as on. It just helps you highlight the various teams, like the retros will be like one color, etc. And you'll know exactly what team you're attacking based on their color. So make sure that's on. I usually leave that off. I don't care about that. Preferred region, you can either leave it on auto or your actual preferred region. Crossplay is completely up to you. I like to leave it on because sometimes I play with my friends. But yeah, in terms of crosshair, there's not really a way to adjust it too much unless you're using an external crosshair, which I don't recommend. I think you can actually get banned for that. But yeah, I just go with a width of 1, outline width of 2, and then like this cyan color. Opacity is at 85, and then center dot at 3. For mouse and keyboard settings, my mouse look sensitivity is at 12. I play on 1600 DPI, so it's just what I usually play with. It's around 11 or 12. Zoom sensitivity, I usually leave that at 100. I don't touch that too much. I haven't played around with these too often, so I'll leave that as the default, which is on and off. For most of these settings, they're pretty standard. I think the only thing I've changed really is jump, which I've bound to my scroll wheel down, and then sprint is toggle left shift. It just makes it easier when you're trying to navigate. You don't have to continuously hold shift while you crouch or slide. It just makes it a lot easier. Specialization, it's completely up to you, but I prefer to use my thumb mouse button, especially if you're using like a light kit or something. This allows you to evade without having to press Q and A at the same time, or Q and D. But if you're comfortable, you could just leave it at Q. That's just what I like. Quick melee is at my, what is that, mouse 4. Just basically my up thumb button, my forward thumb button, yeah. And then crouch, slide, and hold is left control and C, which I think that's generic. I could be wrong though. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of my keybinds. Accessibility, I play on Tritanopia. It's either this or Deuteranopia. Just used to these two colorblind modes. Just helps differentiate your enemies from the scenery. Subtitles off, motion blur disabled, and then yeah, same thing with the crosshair that I went over. Audio 30, 20. You can adjust it. Sometimes the music can get a little annoying. Completely up to you. I also use a mix amp, so I can adjust it on my mix amp to whatever I need. But this is pretty generic: 30, 20, 100, and 50. Output mode, stereo headphones, night mode is really cool. It makes your audio a tad bit louder. It's completely up to you. I usually leave it off, but you can leave it on. Subtitles off. And then I noticed that when you first start up the game, voice chat is off for some reason. So make sure you do switch that on. And then push to talk, I think that key is Z, if you didn't know that. Or you can just, hot mic it, but I don't like that. Completely up to you. Voice chat output, I think, is generic at 75. Full screen, 1920 by 1080 or 1680 by 1050. This just helps make the enemies a little bit more stretched. Or you can just play at your standard default. VSync disabled. I always play on plus boost. Just helps with your input. Resolution scaling method, NVIDIA DLSS, and NVIDIA DLSS is going to be DLAA. It just helps with your upscaling quality. Field of view, should always put that at 100. I know when this game first came out, a lot of people were complaining. It's probably because the default is 80. They were complaining about, it feels like movement is so much slower. Well, it's probably because you didn't adjust your field of view. Motion blur disabled, lens distortion disabled, NVIDIA RTX global illumination static, just because it has the smallest performance cost. And then Overall quality level, you can either leave that at low or adjust it as necessary, but I like to go high, low, 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 and low. And yeah, extras, yeah, nothing in extras. So yeah, try it out, play around with it. You don't have to use mine exactly, but yeah, drop a comment, like the video, feel free to subscribe.